Hi Nigel, good session yesterday. Hope you found it helpful. Just going to run through a couple of points we discussed there in the session in terms of whether things were going wrong. First and foremost, try to eliminate a lot of the thought you were having. I think there was a lot of discussion around the session there where you were asking questions about your hips, your shoulders, your back, your body, your hands, your knees, your feet, etc, etc. And I think if that's happening on the golf course, you're sitting and you get yourself stuck. I think you're just overthinking the golf swing too much. So if we look here on the left hand side, some of the practice moves you were making, kind of working on the sort of transition into the golf ball, all very good, but doing this movement here now and pulling your hips through, as you can see, you get the club when you're doing it slowly into a pretty good position. If we look at this position here now, this is obviously done in a practice move, hips clearing out of the way, right shoulder staying back, that's all very good. The problem is if you sort of see how close your hands are now to your body, club head now sort of nice over your toe line, when you then put a bit of speed to that with the actual shot itself, that same feeling of pulling that left hip around, you watch your left arm now, it's much further now, your left arm gets away from your body. Now because of this, if the club is working out in this direction, the club head when it comes back to the golf ball is working out in this direction and forcing you to get the club shaft quite steep as you come into the golf ball. That's going to relate to some of the shots you said we get a little bit heavy. This wasn't shanked, but you can see it's getting very much towards that edge of the golf club that could lead to one of those shanks off to the right there. So the feeling I want you to try and have when you're coming down to the golf ball from here now, just feel the arms kind of just drop it. There's no sort of pulling here now. I think we saw some of the practice moves which go back a little bit where you just always feel the arms almost dropping in a lot closer, because when you put speed to anything, forces of sort of nature sort of push things out in this direction. So try and do it really slow. Get the sensation of the arms dropping down to this position here now, much more into the body, much more connected. So then when you do put speed to it, you'll see here now, when the speed of the golf swing happened, the arms falling down, you can see your hands now coming a lot more into the shoulders, club now working a lot more down the toe line towards target, as you're swinging through the lovely strikes you towards what the corners of the house there and the buildings in the distance. So work on that transition. The arms are going to fall down to this position. There's no pulling or dragging or trying to use the hips or the torso. The arms are just sort of falling into position now. The lower half will move. As we said, the sensation you have with the lower half not working at all, just the arms falling. You look at your lower half there now, it's clearing out of the way lovely, as it will do naturally. So just work on the arms falling, get that ball back into the right position on the golf club, and hopefully those shots pinging off to the right there will be a thing of the past. But at least now if you do get the odd one or two, you'll have some understanding as to what you can do on the golf course to try and fix that, rather than try and overthink everything. Get your hips clear and your shoulders, your knees, your whatever it was, and getting a bit sort of stuck there with lots of thoughts. So hope that all makes sense. Any questions, obviously give me a shout, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, Nigel.